Okay, ladies, we are on the bobble demonstration for the Heirloom Afghan. There's a little bit that I've discovered in the work. As I was preparing for this, I want to show you this page. We need to add something to it. Down here under bobble knit version, if you choose to do the knit one instead of the crochet one, and I say that, you do not need to know how to crochet to be able to utilize this crochet bobble. And that's just what we call it because how we have to do it. But I'll show you how to do it. And that skill is all that's necessary. We do, however, need a row 5 that says knit 5 stitches. And then it needs to say pass the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th stitch over the 1st stitch. We do need that added on, and I'll show you how to do that. I want to show you the knit bobble first because it's fairly normal, reasonable. We are knitting after all. I'm going to move my paper. So at this point, here's my instructions, my little bobbles. The crochet instructions are right here underneath the chart. There are the written ones on the key page. I've noticed that there's 3 sets, 3 rows of knit before we do the popcorn or bobble. And in this case, there is 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches between the bobbles. I'm not going to put 6 stitches between mine on this little sample because I have a little tiny sample. So I could have put these closer together. You could have like a whole bucket more. I didn't think it showcased them well to do that. And let's be honest, they're a little bit fiddly. So if the more I do, the more likely I am to just be over it. Let me show, well, let's do the knit version first. So the knit version has me in the indicated stitch. In this case, it was, I did this 4 stitches ago. I've knit 3. Now I'm going to knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1. That is 5 stitches. And yes, that stretches out a little bit. I've tried doing it in the back loop. It doesn't really help. So it does kind of come down together in the reel once it's done. So then it says turn. I'm going to purl back. Now you notice I turned in one direction. I'm going to turn the opposite direction when I turn this time. So instead of turning this way again, I'm going to go back the other way. When I'm in the Afghan, that will keep me from twisting. So now I'm going to knit a row. This time I'm going to turn my usual way and purl a row. Now I'm going to turn the other direction. So normally I turn this way. This time I'm going to turn back that way so that it doesn't twist. Now I'm going to knit the 5th row. This is the row that's added to your pattern. And then I'm going to pass the 2nd, not the 1st, the 2nd stitch over the 1st, the 3rd stitch over the 1st, the 4th stitch over the 1st, and the 5th stitch over the 1st. Make it stick out, and I'm ready to proceed. And then knit to the placement for the next bobble. Now, I can do that. A little fiddly, it's not bad, but those are knit bobbles. Now I want to show you a little bit of the crochet bobble as it sits in the Afghan. You'll notice that the base is not as wowed out. It doesn't get as big. They're a little bit tidier. So that's what they look like in the work. Now let's do one. I'm going to get a crochet hook that is the same size as my knitting needle. Crochet hooks are typically designated by letters, C, D, E, F, like that. But you'll notice it also comes along with a number. Then in this case it's a 7, and it comes along with a millimeter designation. So if you're using a 4.0 or 5.0 millimeter knitting needle, then you would look for a 4.0, 5.0, whatever it happens to be, millimeter crochet hook. So then I'm going to knit to the stitch that I want the bobble in. I'm going to stick my crochet hook into it, take it off of the needle, and chain 3. Well, actually it says yarn over and pull up a loop and then chain 2. So watch what happens when I yarn over and pull up a loop. That's 1, and chain 2, 1, 2. That's equivalent to having worked 3. I'm going to work 3 double crochets in the same stitch. A double crochet, you yarn over your hook. We're going to go into that same loop, catch the yarn and pull it up, catch the yarn through 2, catch the yarn through 2, yarn over. That's 1 double crochet done. Yarn over into the stitch, catch the yarn and pull up a loop. Now I could think of it as yarn over and through 2, yarn over and through 2. That's 2 double crochets done. Now I'm going to work the 3rd one. Then it says pull up the loop on the hook, remove the hook, come back to the top of that beginning chain. Remember those little chains that we made? We have that stitch that the loop is coming out of, that stitch behind it, that's 2, there's 3, and back from that is the top of that chain. Now I'm going to put my hook in the top of that chain, catch the loop that I pulled my hook out of, and pull it through. And I have split the yarn. Hold on. Now I've really split the yarn. Have you noticed? I think I've snagged it. Oh no, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to pull it through and place the stitch on the right hand needle. I'm done. There's my little bobble. Now I'm going to knit to the next bobble. I make sure to keep the little bobble to the front side of the work. Now let's do it one more time. And insert my hook into the stitch. I'm going to grab the yarn, yarn over it and pull up a loop. Now yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. That's chaining 2. I'm going to yarn over my hook, go into the knit stitch, grab the yarn and pull up a loop, catch and go through 2, catch and go through 2. That's 1. We're going to do that 2 more times, and we could think of this as yarn over and through 2, yarn over and through 2. I'm going to do it one more time. Yarn over into the stitch, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. I have 3. Yarn over and through 2, yarn over and through 2, pull the loop up, and now we're going to go backwards. Not the one the loop comes out of, not the one behind it, not the one behind that, but the top of this one. And you'll notice I want to catch enough of it. There's almost a little opening. I don't want to catch just this. I want to catch both of those. Stick the loop back on my hook, pull it through, and now the loop goes on my knitting needle, and I make it the size of the needle, and I can knit on. That is our crochet bobble. Crochet bobble, only in that we have to call it by a name, and it's made with a crochet hook. Note that you really need no other skills. I think that they are tidier than a knit bobble. This, for whatever reason, this one wants to hang like low. If I wanted it to be a little more tidy, I could do knit, purl, knit, and then pass over. In other words, eliminate these two last rows. That would make a tidier bobble. In fact, let's see it. Let's just do it and see what it looks like. So I'm going to still knit one, yarn over, knit one, yarn over. Wait a minute, I know what let's do. Let's throw it. I don't mean across the floor. I mean, let's do it like a throw knitter. We're going to knit, come out, yarn over, knit, come out, yarn over, knit. Now it goes off. I'm going to turn the work and purl. Now I'm going to do, this is the slow part of me, knitting and purling. I've not done this in some time. Now I'm going to turn it back the other way so I can knit them. There's 4 and 5. And now I'm going to pass the stitches over. So the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th stitch come over. I'm going to make sure that it's tidy and then knit to the next bobble. Let's take a peek at what that looks like. That one, wait, I gotta push its little self through. Sometimes they want to bend, you know, they want to pinch out that way instead of pinching up towards us. I have to kind of make them do it till I better mind. So now here we have a 3-row bobble, more in keeping with that size perhaps, a little bit smaller now, not quite as poochy. That's a technical term. And then here's a 5-row, that's perhaps a bit large. In comparison to the crochet one, realize that whatever you do, be consistent and you will have the outcome you're looking for. Okay, ladies, talk to you soon.